It's our reality, just your average family trying to be normal and stay out of trouble, living a double life.
What's up? Today we got Thunderman's Season 3, Episode 4, Exit Stage Theft. This episode starts off at Hidden High, where Gideon asks Max if he got his guitar strap fixed. Max says he fixed it himself, but then the guitar falls apart because it's Max, I guess? Vixen. Yeah, check it out. Sock and roll. And then it falls apart. Because it's Max again. Wolfgang says, sucks in, slaps in, stinks in. Yep, the only thing where we can actually hear Wolfgang say something. Oyster says, what if it broke at the talent show? And Max buying his strap. And Max says he can't buy it in his strap. He's broke. But they'll rock that talent show as long as they stay focused. Then 3 girls walk by and Oyster says they're trying to stay focused. Cherry says, oh no, her laptop is gone. She can't find it. Phoebe says, maybe Cherry should retrieve herself. Then the band just walks by to hear this, which is like, why would Max and the band want to be, I guess because, of course, now that we know that they're kind of friends now, they became friends in never-friending story. Phoebe, Sherry says before she was here, she walked into the boys' bathroom. Sorry, Gideon. Gideon says, it's okay. It's perfectly normal to go in there and cry between classes. Phoebe says, he's the toilet crier? And Sherry says, she remembers she put her computer in her backpack before the assembly. And Eric says, someone probably stole it there. And he knows the kid who's got his tablet stolen at the pep rally last week. Max says, Bummer. And Phoebe says, yeah, I know. Max says, no. His name was Bummer Calloway. Which is a weird name to name your kid. Bummer Calloway? That is a weird name to name. That's a weird thing to name your kid. Yeah. Max says they should go rehearse and they leave. And Cherry says, what's she going to do? That computer has all of her homework on it. None of it's finished, but it's done. Okay, that was kind of funny, but Phoebe says, she's so sorry. The hero put her in charge of Hiddenville, which was super funny because literally the Paramount Plus subtitle said a hidden villain. And that made me laugh so hard because actually that made me laugh. Another scene made me laugh so hard. She said Hiddenville, but the subtitle said a hidden villain. It made her to protect a hidden villain. That is just the best typo ever. And so I'm not wearing my glasses. There's something up with them. So I'm not going to wear my glasses for a while. And I might wear new glasses, guys. But for now, just decided not to wear my glasses for this video. It looked good. It's weird to not wear my glasses in a video, but it looks good. Because I don't wear them all the time. But anyway, Max says, yeah. Phoebe says, how is she supposed to protect Hiddenville when she can't protect her best friend from getting ripped off? Her bestie from getting ripped off. She's going to capture this criminal for Cherry. She promises. She says she needs to talk to me. Yeah. She says, Max, I need to talk to you. And Max says, no, I didn't steal Cherry's laptop. And Phoebe says, I was gonna ask you if you heard anything. Of course you didn't steal it. You're a jerk. You're not heartless. And Max says, take that back. He is heartless. Then some guy says, hey, does Max want a candy bar in addition to donate to some pandas? And Max says he can't say no, But then he says, Phoebe, get back here. Phoebe, hey, Phoebe, get back here and keep telling him how he's heartless. Oh, get back here and admit he's heartless. After the opening, in the A-plot, in Max's lair, Max is telling Colosso, like a therapist, how Phoebe said he couldn't be the bandit because he's not heartless. Colosso throws the book at him and Max is like, "What's that for?" And Colosso says, "Because you're making me agree with Phoebe. Max, you have to ditch your band because..." And Colosso says, Max, those band guys you hang out with, they're too good, and it's rubbing off on you. Max says, "No, they're not. See? I'm holding my evil chronicle that I got from Dark Mayhem, of my evil deed from Dark Mayhem." Colosso says, "No, I'm holding your chronicle. You're holding your band's stupid scrapbook." And Max says, "Oh, hey." And Colosso's like, "Take that. You need to ditch your band and find actual rebellious evil kids to hang out with. Yeah, you need to..." Yeah, Max. Colosso says, "Stop scrapbooking. Max you need to ditch your band friends." And Max says Max Thunderman doesn't have friends. They're just bandmates and nothing else. Colosso says, "Then ditch them and find actual rebellious, sketchy kids to hang out with. To refill your evil chronicle." And then Max says he will. Colosso says, "Take me with him." Max says he can't. And then there's this weird shot where Colosso's therapist booth just mysteriously disappears between scenes to show that Colosso is now in a baby stroller. Even though he wasn't in the previous shot, he's now for some reason in the next shot. What weird error! Like, how did Colosso go from standing on a therapist homemade stand to now being in a baby stroller, and the therapist stand isn't even seen, isn't even there in that shot. So where did it go? It just disappeared. Meanwhile, Barb asks Nora. Meanwhile, in the B plot, actually technically it's 2 B plots, but they're technically 2. Barb asks Nora and Chloe if they're ready for a snack. Nora says she and Chloe made their own. Hank says, "Cleaning up? I can't believe it." And Chloe says, "Believe it, baby." Number 2. Wow, Chloe hasn't said her catchphrase since the first episode. Why is this show lacking? Like, literally, Chloe hasn't said baby since episode 1. And this is the second time she said it. Wow. I count how many times Chloe said it because it's for the counter. Barb says, "The kids are doing their own stuff, so let's go into our second B plot." Hank says, "What do we want for our second B plot?" Hank says, "The family's on our pirate. Barb says, "What are they going to do with this all free time?" "Start a second B plot." Hank says, "What do you want to do for a second B plot, Barb?" Watch the real Super Wives of Metroburg. Yeah, Barb and Hank are not in this plot at all. They technically are in this B plot, but their B plot doesn't have nothing to do with the B plot that goes on between Billy, Nora, and Chloe. So technically they have nothing to do. Why even have them be in this B plot? I know I've said that literally this is the start of Billy and this is the start of Barb and Phoebe's no longer having any interactions state of the show, because literally they don't in the B plots anymore. Remember, Barb was pushed to B plot girl at some point. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, Hank says, "Let's start this B plot, the second plot, by watching the real Super Wives of Metroburg. They're 100 episodes behind, so they can binge watch them all." Barb says, "Why is he still talking? Turn on TV." Then Nora finds Billy in the cabinet and asks what's he doing in there. Billy says he, Nora, and Chloe were playing hide and seek with Nora, and Nora says, "Oh yeah, found him." And Billy says, "It's been 4 hours." Nora says, "Well, they did look for him for a while, and then she and Chloe did look for him for a while, but then they just went outside and completely forgot about him." Billy says, "She forgot about him?" And Nora says, on the bright side," what's that? What's that sign you've made? "On the bright side, he can fit into cupboards now." And Chloe says, "Yay, Billy!" Which is like super cute because, again, I love Chloe. Ding. Billy says, "They keep doing this. This is like the time when they were supposed to go fishing and they forgot him and actually went fishing." So how long has it been? Because literally Chloe was introduced in the first. Chloe's final growth spurt began in the first episode. So, but since Billy says this happens all the time, he and Chloe, they're supposed to do something, but Chloe and Nora end up ditching him. I wonder how much time has passed between these events that keep happening in each episode. Because literally, if Billy says they've been doing this and Chloe has only been in the show for about 5 episodes now, counting the 2-part finale, Chloe's only been in the show for about 5 episodes now since her introduction. I don't know how long the show takes, like how much the period of time takes place. Yeah. Nora says he wasn't complaining when he had a bellyfish, a flounder, and Billy said, "You know what? He can have fun without them too. He's gonna play with his other friend." Nora says, "Who's that?" And Billy says, "Luigi Marinara. He's from Italy. Billy's going over to his house right now for lunch, and they're gonna eat pepperoni right off the trees." Nora doesn't question this whatsoever and just lets him go. Okay. Meanwhile, in the A-plot at Hinville High, Bradford says Max, he sees him and his friends sign up for the talent show. Max says they're not his friends. And Bradford says, "Of course they are. They cleaned up your act." And Bradford leaves. Max says even Bradford thinks he's gone soft. He needs to find some rebellious and shady delinquents. Then Max sees the 3 girls from earlier. And he sees them putting Cherry's computer in their locker. Then Max says, "Hello, delinquents. Hello, shady delinquents." Then Phoebe's like, "Who are you talking to?" And then scares Max. Max is like, "Phoebe, why are you creeping like a creepy creep?" And then Phoebe says she's looking for the bandit suspect and says those 3 girls look suspicious, but Max has to, of course, Max wants to be friends with the girls, so he diverts Phoebe's attention to this guy with bushy brows, saying that those bushy brows could have something to do with the crime. So yeah, So Phoebe goes to investigate. Yeah. Max approaches the 3 girls and says he's a fan of the line of work. Girl 1, which we only get one of the girls' names in this episode. The other 2 are nameless. So I'm just going to call them Girl 1, Girl 2, and Girl 3. Because we only get the orange-haired girl's name. The black-haired girl and the blonde-haired girl are never named in the episode. Again, what's up with this show in creating characters if you're not going to name them? Okay, so Girl 1 says that Max has a lost. Says what work is Max talking about? Max steals some items from some students and gives them to the 3 girls. And says he wants to hang. The girl says, well, girl 1 says, Max has some skill. Then girl 2 says, Max is boy pretty. And girl 3 says, she doesn't even go to Hidden High. Then why are you here? Okay, that kind of gave me a Mean Girls movie vibe from the 2000s when one of them says that person in the hoodie doesn't even go there. I've never even seen that movie, and I know that reference. Because it's an iconic movie and an iconic reference. And I have not even seen Mean Girls, and I know that reference. So, apparently, Blonde Girl 3 doesn't even go to Hindle High, but she's there because I guess she's so bad, she likes skipping school and going to other school. Yeah. Yeah. Girl 1 says they'll let Max hang for a while. But then the band scares Max. And Max asks, why is everyone being a creep? Why is everyone creeping on him today? Oyster says they got something for Max. And Max says they can't be buying him stuff. Oyster says Max is their friend. And Wolfgang says, best in friends. Okay, Wolfgang's still great. Max says they're not best in friends, they're just a band. Oyster says, dude, what are you talking about? Of course they're all friends. And Max says Max started the gift giving when he made them the scrapbook. Max takes the scrapbooks and says Max doesn't even friend or a band. Max says he doesn't need friends or even a band. He quits and walks off. And then they're like, what just happened? Gideon says he doesn't know, but he'll be busy crying in the bathroom. So they turn Gideon from a pervert to a crier. Oh, Gideon. What happened to you? Meanwhile, in the B plot, Nora says, okay, Chloe, got all her pads on. Chloe says, let's roll. And then Billy shows, which, again, I love Chloe, ding. And Billy says, whoa, look who's hanging out again. Nora says, whoa, look who's hanging out again. Nora says, they're just scooting down. Billy says, excuse me, his friend is calling. Oh, hey, Luigi, what's up? And then he says, alla pasta. And then he just starts talking in Italian, which Nora obviously looks at him being like, really, bro? You really think we're buying this? You really think that we believe that that's actually how Italians speak? Also, there's a funny joke where when Billy's talking, the subtitle says "in Max's mind." When Billy's talking inside his head, the subtitle says "in Max's mind," and that was so hilarious for me. I was like, "How could you get that wrong? Billy is the one saying this stuff." And also apparently Netflix also had that mess up, but Netflix doesn't even have. Actually, Netflix does have this season. Netflix does have this season, but I prefer watching on Paramount Plus. I don't know why I do, but I just do. Yeah. Billy starts saying, what is he talking about, and what is he thinking saying this stuff? And then Nora says, oh, maybe they can bring him, when can they meet Luigi? Billy says, whenever she wants, and Nora says, bring him up tomorrow. Billy says, sure, what time? And Nora says, how about 4? And Billy says, he'll be there. Then inside, Hank and Barb are watching the Real Super Wives of Metroburg. Hank says, didn't think they'd be able to watch 67 episodes in one day. Then Barb looks at her phone and says, actually, Hank, it's been 2 days. Watching TV inside this long isn't good for them. And Hank says, He totally agrees. They need some fresh air. Then cut to them watching the show outside. Somehow they got their TV outside. Somehow, and now they're on a swing. Meanwhile, in the A plot, Max is hanging out with 3 girls, and the girl 1 asks Max if he's ready for his first big heist. Max says he was born ready, and girl 3 says she was born in the woods. They cut to Cherry, and Cherry says she thought Phoebe was going to shave off Brian Jones' eyebrow. That's the guy that Max totally made Phoebe believe, the bushy brow guy that Phoebe totally put her on the scent of. And Phoebe says she did. The guy's eyebrows just grow back within a day, which is impossible somehow. But this dude must have the power of all the anime protagonists, because he's able to just he must have the power of all anime side characters, because he's able to just have his eyebrows grow back within a day. Yeah. Phoebe says she's sorry she hasn't found Cherry's laptop yet. Whoever still has a guardian angel. Then we see Max walking over to the area, but then when he sees Phoebe, he and the girls walk in the next direction, which is like super funny, because it's like Phoebe talking about how who's ever doing the bandit, who's ever stealing the things must have a guardian angel. Then we just see Max and the girls walk in that area. Max sees Phoebe, and he just has them walk the other way, which is kind of funny again. Phoebe says she's not gonna quit. The bandits hit the assembly and the pep rally, so her guess is they're gonna be at the talent show tonight. Phoebe says, of course. Phoebe says, which is why she's gonna go into the auditorium early to be there to catch him. Yeah, then we get a whole thing about how Phoebe wants to tell Bradford that she and Cherry are a last minute act, but Bradford says annoying him isn't a talent, which made me funny, but made me laugh because of how much I kind of like Bradford. Phoebe says, lucky for him, they have many talents, which is why they're going to go over there to pick one. And Phoebe says, Cherry says, what are they going to do? And Phoebe says they'll come up with something, either way to get backstage. They'll come up with an act, as the only way to get through the backstage is through the ceiling vent. And only a fool would do that. Cut to Max falling out of the ceiling vent, because I guess he's a fool. Max has the 3 girls in, and girl 1 says Max is about to become one of them. And girl 3 says Max will be the weird one. Max will finally be the weird one. Girl 1 says they're about to steal they're planning to steal the popcorn cart behind Oyster Wolfgang and Gideon. And Max says, why don't they just steal their equipment? And she says, that's much better. That's a better plan. Girl 3 says, good job, the weird one. And girl 1 says stealing their equipment will be taking like a fancy car from a helpless old man. Girl 3, who we never know, blonde girl 3 says, how is black-haired girl 1's grandpa? And she says, he's enjoying his bus pass. Girl 2 says, aren't those Max's friends? And Max says he has no idea who they are. Oyster says they are upset about losing Max. And Max says, that's a different Max. Oyster says they have to move on and forget about Max Thunderman. And Max says, a different Max Thunderman. But why would, even if Oyster was alone, why would he say Max's first and last name? Even if he didn't know Max was actually there, why would he randomly just say Max Thunderman? I'm not questioning this show. I'm just a reviewer. Girl 1 says they can't figure out how to get rid of. They can't steal anything until they figure out how to get rid of Gideon. Max says Gideon has a lot of weaknesses: 80s hip hop, girls, food court, and then girl 2 says girls, and decides to put on her charm and flirt with Gideon. All it takes is for her to say hi, and Gideon's like, yes, and they just leave. Wow, Gideon, you are very gullible. So then Max and the two girls can steal the band equipment. Meanwhile, Phoebe is in Cherry trying to get Cherry's laptop, or trying to get into the town show. Phoebe tries floating Cherry, but then when Principal Bradford leaves, she says, "Principal Bradford, wait," and then Cherry falls. And then Phoebe says she can't believe it. First, she let Cherry's laptop get stolen, and then she let Cherry fall. She dropped Cherry. Maybe she should focus on Guam instead of, Guam is the name they came up with. I'm always forgetting to mention something there. Instead of becoming a superhero. Then Girl 2 says, Gideon is so sweet and hilarious, and Phoebe says, what? Gideon is none of those things. Cherry, magic's gonna have to wait. She has some superheroing to do, and she runs off. Okay. Meanwhile, in the B plot, Billy says, Luigi will be there any minute. And Nora says, this is going to be fun. Then Billy speeds out and Nora greets Luigi. But what's weird about this? It's that Nora doesn't even press the thing. Like, the penguin statue that changes the superhero portrait from the family portrait. She doesn't press that. She just keeps it as a superhero portrait. Which, if this wasn't who we think it is, that would expose them. Is Nora that dumb? Like, that is a big error. Like, Nora doesn't press the button. She doesn't change it to the regular portrait like she should. Everyone else is able to do it fine, but Nora, she just forgets because, yeah. Meanwhile, and Nora greets Luigi, and Luigi says how Billy's great and stuff. Meanwhile, in the A plot, Max steals symbols and says the girls are a bad influence on him. He thanks them. Max then sees the wrapped gift that Oyster made and it's revealed that they made him a new band strap. And says Girl one takes it, saying that it'll make a good thing for her dog's leash, but Max takes it back. Girl one says, I thought he said Oyster Gideon and Wolfgang were his friends. Max says they are. At least they were. So yeah, Max should stop listening to Dr. Colosso. Because the whole reason why Max ditched his friends was because Colosso told him to. But we don't get a scene of Max confronting Colosso at all. Yeah. Girl 2 says some girl was following her, but then she lost her. They should get back the equipment. Then we get this scene where then we get the background for this video, where Max stops them and says, that they want to steal from his friend, they have to go through him. Then Girl 3 says, okie dokie, and knocks Max down, and they get away with the stolen band equipment. Max says, Girl 3 doesn't even go here. Doesn't even go to this school. Max says, where's Phoebe when he needs her? Then plot conveniently, Phoebe drops in and says, what is Max doing here, and where was the girl she was following? Max says Jay, which is the orange-haired girl, which is the orange-haired girl right there. Right there. That's Jay. We never get names for the other two ladies. Jay, I think, is the only one we get a name for. Because Max says Jay. Because Max says Jay. Max says Jay ran out with the other two. So which one is Jay? Is she the orange-haired girl, or the black-haired girl. We never find this out, but just saying, who is Jay? I know Jay from Legend of Ninjago is. Yeah, Max says that Jay ran out with the other two and all the band stuff they stole. Phoebe says they are the bandits, but how does Max know him? Is he one of them? Wait, is he working for them? Is he one of them? Max says, no, I don't know, kinda. And Phoebe says, I can't believe Max did this. Phoebe, I don't know what to say about that. Phoebe, you know Max. You know that he's a supervillain. You can't believe that Max would go this low? Phoebe, are you high? You know who Max Thunderman is, right? He's a supervillain, he's evil, and he likes to do bad things. You know who he is, right? You saying that you can't believe he would do this and to his friends? Phoebe, what Kool-Aid are you sipping? Are you sipping the Kool-Aid that Link was drinking in the last episode? You must be, because I don't think you'd be too dumb not to realize that Max is evil. Like, that's who he is. Actually, not who he is, but he thinks that he is. Are you drinking the same Kool-Aid Link was drinking that you're so delirious? Just saying. This makes no sense. How can she think that Max wouldn't do this? Like, what? That makes no sense. Max says he tried to stop them, but he tried to stop them after he gave them the idea, got them backstage, just tried to get in and loaded all their equipment. Phoebe, what has he done? Phoebe says, messed up, as usual. Now stay out of her way. She's gonna catch the girl. Max says, he's coming with. Right after he pops this crick in his neck, and Phoebe pops it for him, and she says that she'll never do that again. Meanwhile, on the B plot, Nora and Chloe are eating pizza while Luigi drinks tea or something. We never see it. Luigi says, Biddy is a great kid. Who wouldn't want to play with him? Nora says, Luigi seems to know a lot about Billy. Yeah. Luigi has to use the bathroom. It speeds off. Luigi speeds off and it's not obvious that it's Billy, but come on, I'll play along. Billy shows up, and Billy comes in and says, how do they like Luigi? First he realizes that he still has a sign burned off, so he rips it off, which was kind of funny. And Nora says, he goes to the bathroom a lot, and Billy says in Italy, tiny bladder, huge heart. Billy goes check on, Billy then goes to check on Luigi, and Chloe and Nora says, Chloe, do you see what's going on here? And Chloe says, Biddy is Luigi, because who wouldn't guess that? And then Nora's like, he must have been hurt bad. She thinks they hurt his feelings because they were playing together so much without him. Nora says, a kickie will help. She says, that's so sweet. And Chloe says, nope, me. And then says, Chloe says, nope, for me, and teleports out. I love Chloe. That was my favorite moment where Chloe just literally says, Nora thinks that she's being sweet by offering Billy a cookie, but Chloe's like, nope, that cookie's for me, bye, and then teleports out. That's great. That's great. Luigi comes back, and Nora says, does Luigi have a sister? If he has a little sister or something. And Luigi says, no, he only has Billy. And then Nora says she loves Chloe, but she loves her little sister Chloe. Me too, Nora. She's the best character. But And just because she likes playing with Chloe doesn't mean she doesn't like playing with Billy too. Billy's her best friend. She hopes he knows that. Luigi says Billy first does his normal voice, but then realizes and goes back to his Luigi accent and says, Billy says, that touched Luigi's heart. He's going to go tell Billy, and Billy speeds up. Then Billy comes back in and hugs Nora. And then Nora says, what's that hug for? And Billy says, for being a good sister. Then Chloe teleports in and gives Billy a cookie, saying she just found it with a half of a bite taken out of it, and Billy accepts it. Billy, I know this is meant to be a nice moment, you accepting Chloe's half-eaten cookie, but what do you think that will have in it? Chloe ate half of it. So, what do you think that will give you? Like, do you think that will give him closure? Billy accepts the cookie, and Billy says, who want to play the laser tag? Nora and Chloe say they do, and they run, and Nora starts to laser tag Billy. Then Barb and Hank are watching their show, and one of Nora's... Anyway. Nora's laser tag hits a tree branch. One of the lasers from Nora's laser tag hits a tree branch, causing it to fall on Hank and Barb. Then Billy off-screen ADR says, you hit Mom and Dad, run! And then Barb says, they should go check on the kids. And Hank says, no, don't quit on me now, Barb. And they continue to watch the show despite having a tree branch on them. I would have made a joke that they died or got injured or somehow they survived, but they somehow survived a falling tree branch, which a falling thing from the sky usually kills someone, but not Hank and Barb. I would have made a joke like that, but I'm not. I'm too good not to make a joke like that. So I'm just gonna continue. So yeah, they continue with their show despite the fact that the tree branch fell on them. Meanwhile, in the A-plot, Max and Phoebe are in the three girls' lair, and Max says that this little tiny computer doesn't do anything until he presses a button which reveals all of the things the three girl 1, girl 2, and girl 1 J and girl 3 stole. Max says, all the stuff. And then girl 1 says, don't you mean our stuff? Phoebe says, they're taking their bandits. They're taking you bandits down. We're going to take you bandits down. And Max says, first we're going to take them up. But then Phoebe reminds him how they can't use their powers because it would expose them. Phoebe, you literally use your powers in a public place in the last scene. I know it. She was covering it up as she was using a wand, but still, wow, Phoebe, you're a hypocrite. Literally, you can say, she can say, it's okay for them both not to use her powers again in public. But when Phoebe does it with a wand, but using it, masquerading it as the wands doing it, that's fine. That's fine. You liar, Phoebe. So they have to get into yeah, they have to be exposed. They can't use their powers or they'll risk being exposed. They have to fight fair. But that's when girl 2/J uses a chair on Max. And Phoebe says, when his back is turned, and Phoebe says, apparently they won't play fair. So then they get into a big action scene. Phoebe gets into a big fight with the three girls. Girl 2 says Max is her. So Max says, eraser clap, causing all the smoke of the eraser to blind her. And then she falls into a chalkboard. Girl 3 uses a shark head And Phoebe says, this is the weirdest fight she's ever been in. Girl 3 fights, and Phoebe and Girl 1 and Girl 2 use broken brooms. Max tries to break a broom, but can't. And Max dodges them. And Phoebe makes Girl 3 fall into the other two. And Phoebe says, so these are Max's friends. And Max says, no, I don't know, kind of. Then in the high talent show, Max gives the bands back their instruments, and Oyster says they thought it was stolen. Phoebe says it was, but her and Max got them back. Max says he had to do something to make up for bailing on them. And Max says he's sorry that they are his friends, and he threw them away because he doesn't deserve them or a guitar strap. Oyster says, well, Wolfgang spent all night sewing his name on it. Wolfgang says, oh, Wolfgang. And Oyster says, don't be modest, Wolfgang. Your stitching is flawless. But since I can't return it, Max might as well keep it. And Gideon says, why are they playing these games? They want Max back. Max says, thanks, guys. Best in friends in. Wolfgang says, Max is back. And Phoebe says, here's Sherry's laptop. And Sherry says, she's her own personal superhero. And then Sherry says, hey, did Phoebe by any chance see her shark on a stick? Showing that the weapon that Girl 3 used in the fight against Phoebe also belonged to Cherry. But Phoebe realized this and realized that she got back all the items. Also, why did Cherry have a shark on a stick? What did she need that for? Max says, do they go, Max and are watching the current band play. Max says, do they go up after them? Oyster says, yeah, and they're good. Max says, hate to admit it, but if they want to beat them, then they're going to have some serious flair. Phoebe says, she thinks she and Cherry can help them with that. Have they ever heard of Guam? Then we see Max and his band playing while Phoebe is levitating Cherry. Again, why was the last fight unfair when Phoebe can do it in front of a sold-out crowd? Again, hypocrite. And Cherry's playing her cowbell to end the episode. So, yeah. We learned this episode that you don't listen to Dr. Colosso because literally Max learned that the hard way. Phoebe's a hypocrite. And we didn't learn the other two girls' names. And, again, just Chloe was fantastic. So yeah, next we go to next episode is an episode that I absolutely disdain. Are You Afraid of the Park has to be one of the worst episodes of the entire show. I keep telling myself that episode's gonna suck later because I know it does. Max and Phoebe are selfish jerks in trying to break up Billy and Nora's friendship due to the fact that Billy and Nora are excited to go on this ride that Max and Phoebe are afraid to go on. So they break up their friendship and have them be enemies to each other just because they are selfish. If that episode was in production, I would have went to the writers. I would have been like, writers, stop. Episode 5 is going to be the lowest rated episode of all time. But they still made it. I didn't even, I would have told them back then not to make it. Because Max and Phoebe act like jerks. Chloe's still amazing, gets 2 funny lines, and Billy and Nora are just alright. And Hank, for some reason, so yeah. And also, this is all for next episode's issues, which I'll obviously rip. I'll rip next episode to shreds. I definitely will, because next episode sucks. It does. It's one of the worst episodes I've ever seen. I've seen it like 3 times now, and I seen it one when it aired, once when it aired. I watched it again months ago, and I'm about to rewatch it for this review series. And I still think it has to be one of the worst episodes that I've ever seen. Max literally says Max and Phoebe have something to do with the plot. Like, the whole plot is like, oh, they can't tell Max They can't tell Hank and Barb about their nightmare. They're not liking the park because of the fact is they don't want their social lives to be ruined. But the plot would be more easier if they did. But yeah, that's for next episode. That's for next episode. That episode is good. It's good to review it, but it's disliking to watch it. I'm hate watching. I don't like doing that. I like loving my shows, but when I have an episode I can't stand, I have to review it for the review series. Yeah. I'm not gonna like next episode. Next episode has to be one of the out of all the Thunderman's episodes I don't like, there's only 3. I don't like episode 21 because of the fact is that Phoebe finds out that Chloe likes Max more than her. So then she tells Chloe a fake bedtime story about Maximus, or about a king who was similar to Max and who was evil. So Chloe, again, being an impressionable child, takes Max to the North Pole because she thinks that Max's actions in the story were the same as real life. Yeah, this is the second time in season 3 where they do Chloe's an impressionable child who literally believes anything because she's an impressionable child. They literally do this in the exact same season in episode 19, which we'll get to, where Billy and Nora show Chloe an old childhood icon of theirs, and it turns Chloe into a rebellious kid. Literally, and Billy and Nora learn, their owl, which we'll get to that episode, wasn't as likable as they thought he was when they were kids. And Chloe goes teleporting and stuff, ruining the place, and she's only back to her regular self when Billy and Nora get something by Hank. When they get Hank sneezes or something and they get blown into the garage doors, and Chloe returns back to normal just for their safety. They did that episode twice. They did the same plot twice, where Chloe is an impressionable child who has and the family members have to learn. One of the family members has to learn that if you tell an impressionable child something, they'll believe it because they don't know the sense of right and wrong. And Chloe's 4 years old to 5 years old by that. Yeah, she's 5 years old, I think, by that episode. So, but anyway, we'll get to episode 19. It's not the worst episode. I'm just saying that they just do the plot twice. They do the plot of Chloe's an impressionable child that believes everything to be true when, yeah. But anyway, next episode's gonna suck. I know it. I just know it. I just know it's gonna be bad, and I'm not excited to watch it, but I'm excited to review it, so I can rip to shreds and say, what were you thinking, writers? What were you thinking, turning your 2 protagonists into one of the most unlikable people ever? And also, the whole thing about Billy and Nora breaking up, I feel like that'd be more of a Max plot. Max doesn't like people, and he would try to break people up just for the fun of it. But Phoebe, why would she, and in episode 2 of season 1, she literally said that she would never hurt Billy and Nora, but never hurt their siblings. But by breaking them up, that's definitely hurting them. So anyway, let's get on to the next episode next time, because next episode's gonna suck. I know it. Everyone knows who watches that episode. But I review it just for the plot. I would skip it, but it's a review series. I have to put myself through torture in these things. So anyway, I'll see you next time. We review one of the worst episodes this show's ever conceived. Actually, not conceived. Episode 8 was also one of the worst episodes, but this episode's worse than in season 2, episode 8. So, see you next time. See you next time. Just see you next time. I'm not happy. I'm not happy to review the next episode. The next episode's gonna suck. But I'll see you next time when we review one of the worst episodes of the show to see if it still holds up as one of the worst episodes of the show. See you next time.